Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today. The Game Awards 2022 just happened, and I gotta be honest with you, if you skipped out this year, I know some of you are gonna be pretty disappointed, especially because Xbox was a no-show, and fret not, I will have a full dedicated video to that tomorrow, so we will talk about that. But otherwise, I think y'all may have missed a pretty good show, in my opinion. Now, last year, I wasn't pleased with the Game Awards, and honestly, I don't remember the last time we've had a really good showcase, but here with the Game Awards 2022, I feel like we had some really strong reveals, and that's partially because there weren't many leaks, and what we knew officially was going to be there, like Jedi Survivor and Final Fantasy 16, were absolute bangers, but there were games in here that we were waiting a long time for. So let's not delay any further. These are just my thoughts on the highlights that were shown there. In case you did skip the showcase, maybe you couldn't make it. That's no problem at all. I got you covered. Let's get the roundup going. So I'm just not going to cover the pre-show outside of Castlevania. They did a Dead Cells DLC called Return to Castlevania. They didn't show any gameplay of what that's going to be like, but I'm not a big Castlevania fan. I just saw this, thought it was really cool. I like that Konami's getting outside a bit more, and they're starting to collaborate more with their IP, so I'm keen to see what that ends up being. But for me, that was the pre-show highlight, but we'll get into everything now for the main show. So following Christopher Judge's extremely long speech was, to me, one of the biggest surprises. So Supergiant Games makes nothing but absolute bangers, whether it's Pyre, Hades, the list goes on, Bastion, Transistor, like everything they make is gold, and they've never made a sequel before. So it was surprising to see so quickly after Hades takes over, really in 2020, after exiting early access, that we get Hades 2, and it's entering early access next year. Normally, I'm kind of sour on early access, but after seeing how Hades turned out in its final release, I'm really keen to try out Hades 2, but do not miss out on Hades. If you did, please go play anything that Supergiant's made. They are top notch. Now, after that, probably game of the show for me, man. We've been waiting to find out what Ken Levine, creator of BioShock, is working on. Judas shows up, literally BioShock again, but I don't care. We need more of this here, and I'm so happy to see it because we know 2K with Cloud Chamber is working on another BioShock type game. And we know that it may have online components, live service elements, if any reports and job listings are to be accurate. So the concern is in a moderate area where Judas was a breath of fresh air. It's like, yes, we know we got our answer here if the true BioShock fails us. But to also finally see what Ken Levine and his team have been cooking with is so exciting. I mean, this game looks amazing from top to bottom. I'm a huge BioShock fan, so anything kind of like that, I'm just feasting on it. Like, shout out to Singularity. That was a great Xbox 360 PS3 game that was BioShock inspired. Like, oh, just this game looks amazing. Complete out of left field surprise there. Afterwards, we got a really cool game in the terms of like the announcement, but not necessarily the gameplay speaking to me. That was Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and the Lost Demon. It's coming March 17th, 2023. And I'm going to be honest, like, not the Bayonetta I'm looking for here. And I'm sure Helena Taylor's out there somewhere shaking her fist, yelling at the sky, and cursing Jennifer Hale's name. But I digress. Art style's cool. Platinum Games clearly going in on their Bayonetta, their cash cow, to recoup some assets after, you know, Babylon's Fall shutting down and whatnot. So this one to me looked cute art style wise, but gameplay wasn't speaking to me. Afterwards, I gotta be real, man. Destiny 2 is looking really good. Lightfall, February 28th, 2023. I don't think this is a fresh announcement, but my co-host, Lord Cognito of Defining Duke, obsessed with Destiny, so I got to hear about it. But to me, I always say it's like a second language. I don't know what he's saying half the time. I'm so out of the loop on it, but I got to be real that Destiny's calling my name a little bit. And I've said for a while I want to try it in 2023. I've heard Lightfall is a good starting point based on what they've been saying, and just that gameplay looks silky smooth, man. I mean, it looks like a really good time. So I'm keen. But look, February and March are looking packed right now. So it's going to be a tough one to swing, but I might give it a try. Afterwards was a somber moment, a really sweet touch here at the Game Awards where we had a brand new Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League trailer. And this was a touching one because you saw Batman show up and he was voiced by Kevin Conroy. And this is his last performance in the Arkhamverse, if you will, in the Rocksteady universe here. And so it feels like this game suddenly has a lot more weight to it, because this trailer was just creepy and atmospheric and captured how Batman's a nightmare. But also seeing the Flash, like the Flash is one of my favorite superheroes. Finally seeing him like in a video game, and he's beat up, he's bloodied. You got a piece of him getting cut off. I'm like, man, what is going on here? Come on, like, give my man Flash some respect. But this game is coming May 26, 2023. I got to say, after I saw the first gameplay reveal for this and then following the delay, and given it's been about like 8 years by the time this game comes out that Rocksteady's released a game, I have a little bit of concern for it, but some of this atmosphere kind of put it to bed, because you see the level between a Rocksteady DC game and what happened with Gotham Knights, which I thought was atrocious. So shout out to Rocksteady. Looks like the quality is there. But speaking of quality, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, March 17, 2023. Respawn does not make whack games. They do not. Titanfall, Jedi Fallen Order. And look, now you got my man Cal Kestis, got a beard. He's got 2 lightsabers. He's got a claymore at some point. The combat looks flexible. He's rotating like stormtroopers and having them all mow down each other. There seems to be so much more fluidity in the combat, and I really hope they continue to go in on those Souls elements. The levels look far more open. The exploration looks better. I mean, everything about this game looks like not just a little bit of an upgrade, but tremendous. Like, this is absolutely one of those must-play games. Afterwards, from the creators of Celeste, this is a game I actually never played, so I don't have much to say on it, but Earthblade. I know that Celeste didn't really have any combat, so it is kind of significant to see in Earthblade that there was combat, but I just know Celeste was a big story about mental health, and I believe it took Game of the Year it did come out, but that's coming 2024, so that is a ways out. There were some surprises here. One of them was not Dune Awakening. This is where you start to feel a little stumble back into the old Game Awards vibes. Like, an in-engine look at this MMO. Nah, I'm really okay. But Forspoken, brand new trailer for this game. And I got to say that the demo is tempting right now. I'm not in on the dialogue or the writing like many y'all out there, but Forspoken does look really fun to play. Afterwards, another stunner here. Death Stranding 2. The absolute madmen have green lit a Death Stranding sequel. You are going to get UPS Simulator 2, ladies and gentlemen. Fret not. And it looks like it's going to be a PlayStation exclusive. This is significant. I mean, shout out to Kojima, just having that creative liberty, having these crazy ideas, and letting these big platform holders buy into his ideas. Insane to see. I never thought we would get a game like Death Stranding on a AAA level, and that's why people love it. It's so different for AAA gaming. And I really got to give Death Stranding 1 a fair shake. I can't believe I'm calling it 1 now. Like, there actually is a sequel. But I'm just interested to see what Death Stranding 2 is, because like Kojima does, and I got to be real with y'all, I get so annoyed with it. People love the ambiguity. For me, I'm just like, what's the game? You gave me like a 7-minute trailer, bro. What's the game? And I hope that they actually have that gameplay that we saw in the extended cut. That did look better to me personally. But hey, Death Stranding 2 is out there. Developers, publishers, look at this one and learn your lesson. This is not how you reveal a game. I have no idea what this thing is. I have nothing to say. So let us move on to Tekken 8, bro. Oh, wow, this gameplay reveal. I wish we got a date for it. But Tekken 8, man, I am so excited for, because to me, one of the goated years of fighting games was when we had Tekken 7 and Dragon Ball FighterZ out in the same year. And if we could somehow get like a Dragon Ball Fighter sequel the same year as Tekken, oh my God, I would be feasting again, because I feel like we haven't had a series of strong fighting games that haven't been Arc System. So to see Bandai outside, Harada outside, Tekken 8 looking sharp, man, Lars styling on people in this trailer looks wonderful. But now we got the ultimate weakness for Matty. The ultimate weakness is here. And this one's going to be a tricky one to navigate around as the year fills out, because Baldur's Gate 3 is dropping August 2023. I love everything that Larian makes. They made Divinity Original Sin 1, Divinity Original Sin 2, which is one of the best RPGs of all time. everything they touch turns to gold. And here with Baldur's Gate 3, man, I know nothing about Baldur's Gate, but I don't care. I'm all in on this game. I played early access when it first was released. I played a couple of hours. I made a video on it. I said, y'all, as much as I'd love to hang around for the YouTube coverage and get the clicks, nope, not spoiling this one for myself. I am waiting till the full release, and I'm going to play it and play it and play it and play it. And that is exactly what I'm going to do come August. But I am so scared for something significant to drop around this thing, man. Even if it's in a month's proximity. Dragon Age vibes, too, like the way that companions were interacting. It just looks spectacular. After this, we got Wayfinder. General game, the general. I don't have much to say on this one. I hate to sound disrespectful, but beta next week if you're interested in what you're seeing on screen here. Afterwards, we got Diablo 4, as I like to say, mocking my friend Jess quoting Diablo 4. June 6th, this one leaked ahead of time. Really interesting to see that this was all CG, given that we just saw previews of the game pop, and this game looks amazing, and it has looked amazing since its first gameplay reveal, and seeing the open world, the class customization and stuff. Like, this game, just no heavy-handed monetization, and we are in for a treat. But that's coming out June, and June is really filling up, by the way. But, yeah, we got a CG trailer. Kind of disappointing, honestly, but it would have been more disappointing if I didn't already know how raw the gameplay looks. So that's what's going on with Diablo 4. Then we got Horizon Burning Shores, who just cannot seem to get out of the way of From Software, as you'll learn later in the show. Coming April 19th, 2023, a new expansion for Horizon Forbidden West. I never played Forbidden West so far this year, so hopefully I can right that wrong at some point in the next year, I guess. But for those who are looking for more Horizon, this is your answer. And for those looking for more, I guess, Genshin Impact-like games, Blue Protocol. It's coming from Bandai and Amazon Games in 2023. And I don't know what else to say other than if you like Genshin Impact, this is for you. For me, Genshin Impact goes down as the game I want to love, but just can't. I think just the monetization and everything, I just can't. But I've tried it. And I think I got to give it another shake. But yeah, man, Blue Protocol looks solid. Nothing wrong with it, but not really calling my name. What is, however, is Remnant 2. I like Remnant from the Ashes, 3-player co-op, third-person shooter, Souls-like, but I had friends who were not into it. So that game got dropped within like 3 hours, but I wanted to play it and enjoy more of it. I just feel like it's such a great co-op experience. So I'm hoping that 2 ups the ante so I can convince my friends to, get off the ledge and be like, come on, just play with your man, Matty. Come on, please. So yeah, I was really liking what I saw with that trailer. No release date or anything. It's just announced. And this one surprised me. Splash Damage, who helped develop Gears Tactics. I thought this was going to be another Gears game at first for a brief moment, but a new Transformers game called Transformers Reactivate was announced at the Game Awards. And we didn't get much on this one either, but given the IP, it's really interesting because Transformers during the 360 PS3 era had some really cool video games, and even, I think, was it Dark Moon? I want to say it was called, had like really cool multiplayer. To see the Transformers license activated in a meaningful way, like the last time I think it was meaningful was Transformers Devastation with Platinum Games, where they made an awesome action game that was really harkening back to the old Transformers cartoons. So that was awesome to see. But otherwise, we've gotten some mobile games. I think Battlegrounds was one of them. So to see an actual genuine Transformers game announced was pretty cool. Afterwards, this one got my hopes up, and I was a little let down, but then I was kind of pumped about it. Now, the reason I got my hopes up is Jeff introduced this as a new action RPG from Don't Nod, published by Focus Home. If you don't know this, I love Vampire. Vampire came from Don't Nod, was an action RPG published by Focus Home, and Don't Nod said that they were going to make a sequel to Vampire if the game sold about 1 million copies, which it did go beyond that. And I was thinking to myself, well, that's got to be it. This has to be Vampire 2, finally. I thought that was such a unique title. They announced Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden coming at the end of 2023. We got the small snippet of gameplay at the end, but just knowing Don't Nod making raw RPGs like Vampire has me keen on this one. It seems like a really unique idea, but I'm just saying right now, if anyone from Don't Nod's watching this, get on that Vampire 2, baby. We've been waiting long enough. This one looks great. We already knew the first one was an underrated game. Warhammer shows up again. I know we got 1,000,001 Warhammer games, but the 40K Space Marine games are really cool. And we have the sequel coming, which was already announced. And I think it's day one on Game Pass. It's coming in 2023. This was the gameplay reveal, though, and it looks legit. Really gory. Little choppy. Not as high graphical fidelity as I was expecting, but still looks really cool. Looks like it's going to be a good time, and I am interested to see this one because the fact that a sequel even exists for it is amazing to me. I love that they actually got crazy and did something with that. Afterwards, Crash Team Rumble. This has been leaked for God knows how long, even a prototype leaked for it. It was originally called Crash Bandicoot Wumpa League, is at least in the reports, that's what it was called. But it's out. It's a Crash team party game, and it doesn't look bad, just not what I'm personally looking for in Crash. I still got to get around to Crash 4 at some point. So otherwise, more Crashes on the way. The Lords of the Fallen got a gameplay reveal. No release window, but this game just looks excellent. And Deck 13 had made Surge 2, and I thought that game was awesome. So to get more of that, you could see the clear FromSoft inspiration, which definitely was the reason why they made the first Lords of the Fallen. But this looks like a significant leap forward compared to the first one, although you wouldn't be able to tell that a first one existed because they share the same exact name. But I digress. Great gameplay reveal here. Really creepy, strange enemy design. Afterwards, a really surprise announcement that had like Chuck Norris in it, Danny Trejo, and so on and so forth was Crime Boss Rocky City. This is coming March 2023, and I gotta be real. At first, I thought this was like a Mafia game or something. It was first person, so I wasn't feeling super confident on that, but just the vibe and the presentation reminded me of a Mafia game. So I was pretty pleased with what I saw with that one. And the next, super pleased with this one, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. I was surprised they didn't put a date on this one. That was the only disappointing aspect about it. I wanted to know when in 2023 this may be coming, whether it's like first half or end of 2023, something along those lines. But we know that this is still coming, and it looks amazing. And we got Idris Elba in the DLC now. You know, CD Projekt Red just loves chucking their money at these types of projects, clearly. Saying, what celebrity can we get now? We already got Keanu Reeves back for this. Let's get Idris. Okay, sure, why not? Get my man Knuckles in there, right? That's what we all know him for. Anyway, that looked excellent. And then, like I said, From Software, seems like Horizon just can't escape their shadow right now. And the same showcase that they announced their expansion, From Software announces Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon coming 2023. I mean, people have been waiting a long time for this one. I gotta be honest, call the fraud alert on myself. Your man has not played any Armored Core. It was just a CG reveal trailer, but I know this is one people have been begging for. And I'm keen on this one because it doesn't seem like, based off what I know with Armored Core, this is going to be a FromSoft style game that most of us are familiar with. You know, the Soulsborne style game. It doesn't seem like we're getting that here. And I like that. You know, we kind of got in my eyes, the magnum opus of the Souls genre with Elden Ring. And that was already a high mountain. Do you want to go beyond that? Or I think sidestepping to something different for a year is crazy. But the fact that they just released like the game of the year, which it won, as many of you already know, they literally did that. And it was a genre defining game. And then they show up and announce another game the same year. And I know there was leaks for it, and Miyazaki said their next game announcement wasn't that far off, but just the fact that it's happening is crazy to me. Like the fact that they already have their next game out is nuts. Last game of the show was Final Fantasy 16. Whew! This one's delivering big time. June 22nd, like I said, June popping off, looking really good. We also had, I believe, they said Street Fighter's coming in June, so it's going to be a busy time for us, and that's around the time that games are getting revealed with E3 and whatnot. So it's going to be a good time to be gaming in 2023, man. That year is filled up, and this game looks incredible. I love the mature approach because I was a big fan of Type 0, for those who haven't played it, and it was, I think, the only M-rated Final Fantasy game, or that was at least at the time when it was being brought over during the marketing cycle for Final Fantasy 15, and a lot of people were big on it because it was M-rated. And to me, I feel like that's when Final Fantasy is really strong, when it's getting into those mature themes, like Final Fantasy 6 being another one. Of course, to kind of we'll say, death march of Final Fantasy X. Like, I love those themes in those games. Final Fantasy IX being my favorite, the existentialism just oozing from that game, and the not alone moment just, oh my God. So this game feels like it's going back to that energy with Final Fantasy. And look, I'm someone who like supported the 13 trilogy. I did enjoy that, but after the 15 brotherly love thing, like, you know, it was cool, but the combat wasn't quite there in long term. I feel like there was so much left on the table with that game. So 16 looks like he's going all out. My man turned Ifrit in the middle of a fight. Just nutty. So absolutely wonderful showcase in my opinion. And it did conclude with some random guy showing up on stage and talking about Bill Clinton, as I'm sure you've already seen on the internet. Apparently he was arrested, according to Jeff Keighley. I feel bad for just some thoughts on that. I feel really bad for Jeff because you could tell he was like honored to have From Software there, give them their award. They had a full night, man, that, you know, collect the game of the year, right? And announce your next big game. And Jeff seemed really honored by that. It highlights a security issue. It's not a good look for the show, but more than anything, man, it's kind of scary when you think about it. Like someone just slipped onto the stage during the biggest nomination of the night. That is crazy. And the fact that he came out to talk about Bill Clinton's friggin' insane. But couldn't believe it, man. Could not believe it. Because at first, I thought it was like Joseph Ferris's son. I was like, oh, same haircut. Like, I feel like everyone was fooled into thinking that, right? But clearly not. And that was just out of left field completely for what was otherwise, I think, a good night. I think there was a good balance of ads. There weren't too many moments, I think, that we were dipping into CG trailers. A lot of stuff had gameplay. It wasn't as short as he said it was. He said it was going to be shorter than most years, but this one felt about the same length, which I think is just a compliment to the overall show that they had there. But it seems like they had more content. I liked that they had more speeches. That was really nice to see. Like the speeches, I know Christopher Judge kind of got destroyed online for his extensive speech. And yeah, he kind of had to eventually get the hint and get off the stage. Like, I got to admire the confidence at a certain point, man. Like, he just was up there. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to really soak this in. This is a big moment, right? I admire the confidence, but I like that there was time for these speeches. Like, Jeff didn't rush anyone off the stage. And that is a huge improvement from last year where, like, Joseph Ferris was getting wound up by the producer like 30 seconds into his speech. So to me, big improvement across the board here. I thought the ads were just right. I saw one level infinite ad. I was like, okay, we've toned that down. This was better to me. And the only disappointment, like I said, we'll talk about in a separate video, was Xbox. Xbox, you can't promise that 2023 is going to be your year and not show up to one of the biggest shows. But I will save that rant for a separate video. These are just my thoughts on the Game Award, what I thought was actually a really good time. I had a lot of fun watching it, and I'm keen to see your thoughts. So please do fire away. I'm looking forward to seeing what you think. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the hell out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active, and love you all. Peace.